Yo, it's Mac from the Everyday Nobody's Podcast. I know you see the title, so let's get straight to it. Everybody hates Vlad, but the question is it really warranted? Me personally, I think Vlad is one of the GOATs of hip-hop media. He taught us how to bust down an hour video into 79 clips, and if you pay attention, damn near everybody in the game has followed suit. They followed that same format, and that's one that he created. He's had his page for damn near 16 years. I believe he said he's had it since YouTube has been monetizable. He's been a part of hip-hop culture for decades. But that's not to say he hasn't made any missteps. Over the course of his career, he's pissed a lot of people off. He's been accused of being a culture vulture since the term was invented.
I don't talk about Vlad, he talks about me.
But you called him corny.
Yeah, he's corny. He's talking about me. That's my reaction to him talking about me all the time. That's corny. Also, he tends to talk about our business. He's not from our culture. He tends to make people talk about illegal things that can get people in trouble. He tends to take advantage of people that haven't been in front of a camera forever, and they don't really understand the ramifications of those things. People tend to go to jail that have been interviewed by him and their friends.
Whether it's for misquoting the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan or falling out with Godfrey, Nick Cannon, and Lord Jamar.
Oh, me and Lord Jamar called him. We said, we ain't gonna be no bitches. We gonna fight and we gonna confront you.
Real
and
shit.
say, hey man, you're gonna send an apology.
A rebuttal,
bro.
right.
And he goes, I sent one. He goes, that looked like a technical difficulty, dude. You did not send an apology, bro. Send an apology. And we're talking to him. He goes, well, I'm not gonna be bullied. No one's bullying you, dude. Now you a white dude again. Now you being white boy now.
Mm-hmm. Or posting Joe Budden's friend getting slapped at the front door. Or choosing to post flashbacks the moment somebody dies. Or just asking people interrogation type questions that could get people arrested.
Okay. When I look at your music, when I listen to your music and I look at your album covers and stuff like that, I'm seeing a lot of blue. The color blue seems to be very prominent.
It's a nice color, my boy. It's a nice color. It ain't nothing like that.
Now, I assume there's a Crip thing going on?
Nah, just a nice color.
Just a nice color?
Yeah.
No cripping going on?
No, nothing. Just a nice
nothing.
color, just the scene. Themes
Okay.
and the scenes, man.
Okay. Growing up in that type of environment, a lot of people start to hustle early. Like, how old were you when you first started hustling?
I wasn't hustling, man. I was a school guy, man. Going to school, handling my business, man, you know?
These are all valid reasons to dislike Vlad, but I don't think that's enough reason to call him a culture vulture. I don't think he just bottom feeds on the culture and then tosses people by the wayside. I don't look at him like that. He's put on a bunch of upcoming rappers. He's platformed some of the biggest media personalities in the game. He's interviewed actors, rappers, etc. You name it, comedians. Like, he's done it all. So it's kind of hard for me to just put him in this box as this villain like everybody else does. But what I am starting to realize is that Vlad is a little tone deaf. I could easily go back 10 years and find something flagrant that Vlad has done. But to do that would negate all of the change that he has made over the years, because if we're going to be honest, he doesn't interview necessarily the same as he used to. I've seen change. People hate to admit it, but a lot of the distasteful things that he's done before, he doesn't necessarily do anymore. But I can bring up stuff from this year that I felt like I don't think he realized how he sounds to the people he's preaching to. And no, I'm not speaking on the Marlon Wayne situation because I feel like that's been beat to death. I can bring up stuff from the last 8 months where Vlad just did not realize you sound ridiculous right now. But before I get into that, let me ask you, do you think Vlad is a culture vulture? Or is he just tone deaf? Let's go back a few months ago to the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. Drake drops and then Kendrick Lamar drops that nuke. They Not Like Us. Vlad decided to go on Twitter and voice his opinion on the They Not Like Us mixing and mastering. And to be honest, it did sound very harmless in the beginning. Vlad basically said the mixing and mastering from the initial upload of They Not Like Us was so bad that it kind of made the song not hit the same. Now, me, I remember how the climate was. Everybody was partying. They was happy to see Drake finally go down. They was happy to see Kendrick and Drake finally get into it. But I do remember the first day I heard They Not Like Us. I remember I heard it when it just dropped. And the quality was not that great. I actually agreed with Vlad on that. Yeah, I feel like in the moment, Kendrick was trying to step on Drake's momentum. He already had that in the tuck, but it wasn't fully mixed and mastered. So when he put it out, it did sound a little rough. I remember that day. I remember that feeling. But I also remember saying, hey, you know what? it's still a bop. It is what it is. But people do tend to forget just due to all the excitement. Nonetheless, it was a harmless tweet. Vlad posted it, and boy, did they gang up on him. They started jumping Vlad. All the black people in the comment section wasn't feeling that. They was telling Vlad to stay out of black business, focus on your culture, focus on white issues, blah, blah, blah. You a vulture, everything in the book. So Vlad decided to hone in on one particular person. She was a college professor at Princeton. Her name was Morgan Jerkins. Coincidentally, and unbeknownst to Vlad, she's also the niece of Rodney Jerkins, aka Darkchild. Quick sidebar, if you don't know who Rodney Jerkins is, he's made big hits. He's produced for Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson. Just do your research. And Vlad has actually interviewed him before. So back to the story. Morgan would tweet at Vlad, "Vlad, you are white and this is a black folk affair." Now let's be honest. That comment was pretty unnecessary and it was a little bit out of line. Like in the grand scheme, Vlad wasn't talking about the content of the music. All he was saying is the sound quality is bad. So Vlad did a little research, found out that she was a professor at Princeton, and decided to tag Princeton as he was tweeting back at her, basically saying, is this the racist rhetoric that you spew to your students? Honestly, it's a fair question, because she did jump out the window and kind of make it a race war when it wasn't really that deep. But then Vlad would take it a little further, basically saying, on Monday, I'm going to give Princeton a call, and I'm going to let them know that they have a racist teacher spewing racist rhetoric, and let's see how they feel about it. And once he did that, the comment section went even crazier. It was a bunch of black people just dogpiling on him. And it's really because if you claim to be from the culture, you can't forget this golden rule. Don't mess with somebody's bag. Vlad went from hip hop DJ to full blown Karen, and nobody was trying to hear all that logic that he was trying to kick. Then when Vlad realized he was getting a lot of backlash, he tried to walk it back, but Morgan wasn't trying to hear none of that. So then Vlad decided, well, I do know her uncle, so I'll just reach out to him and try to get a hold of her. Morgan declined to even speak to Vlad, and she said, stop reaching out to my family, period. I'm not trying to talk to you. Then Monday came, and everybody was egging it on like, yo, you gonna talk to Princeton Karen? You gonna talk to Princeton DJ Karen? And then basically he was like, he got back on Twitter and he said, I'm not gonna speak to Princeton. I was just trolling her because she was trolling me. And everybody was like, that's not a good enough excuse, because whether she was trolling you or not, she wasn't affecting your money. She wasn't messing with your bag. And you tried to really hurt her because you didn't like what she said on Twitter. Everybody who saw that exchange basically decided that Vlad is a vulture. Now, me personally, I don't think he is. I really just think he didn't realize, yeah, you don't mess with somebody's money. Like, he's not taking anything from her, but doing that could jeopardize her livelihood, and it's not that deep. It's just Twitter. And he tried to make it cool by saying, hey, I didn't call Princeton, but you were tagging the institution. So who knows, maybe somebody could see that and say, oh yeah, we don't want to hire this racist lady or whatever. She was still out of line. Like, I'm not defending her, but I don't think Vlad was doing something vulture-ish. I think he was just tone deaf. He just didn't realize that what he was doing was kind of just not cool in this culture. But I'll let y'all decide. Was that him being a vulture, or was he just tone deaf? Let's go to another example. Vlad has been interviewing all these Chicago rappers as of late. He had FBG Bigga on, and they had a little confrontation. If you're not familiar with FBG Bigga, he's like a very close friend to FBG Duck, who's now deceased. Before Duck passed, Vlad interviewed Duck. Basically, he was trying to tell Duck, hey, you need to get out of that city. It's bad enough that you're making diss records and you live like a street across from your ops. It's just not safe. You're getting too much momentum to stay in the same place. Vlad interviewed him twice, and he said that 2 times to him. Basically, Duck was like, no, I'm good. I live here. My family live here. And I just understand the streets. So I don't need to move away because I know what's in store for me. I know where to move. I know how to move. So I'll be fine. Duck would end up being slain soon after. So Vlad said, okay, well, let me interview FBG Duck's mom. Vlad's intent was basically to show the world, hey, this is what happens when you make this kind of music, when you're just dissing dead ops and you guys are unaliving each other back and forth. Mothers are going to cry. Parents shouldn't have to bury their children. So Vlad was trying to get that across. So he said, okay, let me interview FBG Duck's mother. And she cried and she was sobbing the whole time. It was really sad to see. Like, if you haven't seen it, I mean, check it out. It's very informative, but it is really sad. Vlad just wanted people to understand, hey, you need to move out of your city. Like, once you get big, even if you're not big, if you're in a volatile environment, you should move out of your city. But definitely when you get famous and you've been dissing people and you're making songs and the songs of you dissing people are blowing up, you got features with 21 Savage, it's a good time to move out of your community. So fast forward to the FBG Bigga interview. Bigga basically started to press Vlad.
Let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
What made you interview OG?
She had, there was something that happened on the news in Chicago where she was there talking about the situation. So she had already put herself in front of the camera. You see what I'm saying? And she was already speaking about it publicly. Now, this was on TV. It wasn't on an interview basis. So I just figured, well, if she's already putting herself out there and wants to, talk about it, and when you lose your son, I mean, I don't even know how to put my head around that. So we reached out. We said, listen, we saw you on TV. Did you want to sit down and do an interview? She said, yes, I do. So that's what started it.
So she can tell us a story, basically, right?
Exactly.
Now, that's the thing, though. Like, you say you fuck with Duck, right?
Yeah.
For the time you met him, the two interviews, you did interview his mama.
Yeah.
Then I'll be trying to understand why you be doing interviews with people, and then it's like you always bring them up like in a weird way though, like, oh yeah, I told her, like how can I put it, man? Like it be weird as hell. Like I see you do something with Boosie or somebody, and then you just bring up Duck like, yeah, I told him to leave, yeah, like and keep it like exploited or whatever I feel like for content though. You got his OG, you feel me, store side of the store. You talked to him before he passed. After the OG, I feel like what's the point of keep, you feel me, bringing it up? Like
what Bigga was struggling, but he was trying to articulate to Vlad is the way that you speak on FBG Duck is insensitive and it's a little unflattering. He was telling Vlad that every time you interview somebody who's not even a part of these politics, you tend to use FBG Duck as a reference point or as a poster child of what not to do when you're a rapper. And you always seem to have this I told you so type attitude when you speak on FBG Duck. Like Vlad has done that in multiple interviews where he's like, well, I told FBG Duck he needs to move away, and I told FBG Duck he needs to move away, not realizing that the way that looks to people who are close to him is, well, told you so. It comes off insensitive, and that's what Bigga was trying to explain to Vlad. Bigga was explaining to Vlad, if you already have 2 interviews telling Duck he needs to get out of Chicago, and you have an interview with Duck's mother, that should be enough to get your point across. You don't have to keep referencing him to get your point across, because now you're not letting the dead lie. You're not letting them rest in peace at that point. Basically, it feels like you just want clout because you want to be attached to a major name and a major death in Chicago. Now, I understand where Vlad is coming from because he's like, there's a lot of people who are going the same route as Duck. And by doing this, he's bringing awareness to the situation. Like, hey, this is what happens. But it still doesn't matter when you have FBG Bigga basically saying, hey, that was my friend, that was my family, that was whatever he was to him. This is insensitive now. Now, I will hope that Vlad would take heed to it, because if he didn't know before, he does know now. He has been approached about it. They've spoken about it. They didn't necessarily agree, but at least it's in the air now. So if Vlad continues to do it, yeah, I'm going to look at him with the side eye. But as of right now, I don't think he's doing vulture activities. I think he's once again just very, very tone deaf. I'll give you another example, and it kind of blends in well with Vlad's lack of sensitivity towards the dead. Vlad had Sebastian Telfair on his platform recently. They were basically talking about Kobe's commitment to the game and wanting to be the greatest and how he really didn't have many distractions. And for some reason, Sebastian Telfair decided to tell the world, although Kobe Bryant wasn't in the club and wasn't hanging out, he had distractions because he had a lot of side chicks.
Oh, now, you ever seen Kobe in the club?
Never.
Sheesh. Kobe had them chicks though.
Yeah?
Yes, he had them chicks. Yes, because I'll give y'all another Kobe story with the chicks. Shit, Vanessa ain't watching this. So yeah, my exes and her, the little go out group with Emily and Piari and all them girls, whatever. And yeah, so it was this one chick in the group, I won't say her name, and she was the baddest, right? And she was a friend of all the girls and all this. And then she comes to LA. She's staying at my house. They all staying at my house in LA at this time. I think it's my ex-wife's birthday, right? And we playing against the Lakers. And she at the game with us. And then we ain't see her for 8 months. We ain't see her for 8 months. And I was like, yo, where is this girl at? And when she popped back up, yeah, she was living at the Palazzo right there. Across from, what's that mall out there in LA? What's the shopping mall outside?
Beverly Center?
Huh?
Beverly Center? No, the
Beverly
Grove?
Center. The Grove.
Yeah.
Kobe snatched her. Kobe must have been shooting a free throw like, she bad. Kobe had them chicks, but he wasn't in no club.
Now, that wouldn't be that big of an issue if it was anybody else. But with it being Kobe, a lot of people, especially in the comment section, had a problem with that. One reason they had a problem with it is because, of course, Kobe passed in a tragic situation with one of his daughters with him. They both passed the same day. So, yeah, people are going to look at it a little differently. And the other reason why people were upset is because Kobe's wife is still alive and his other children are still alive. So why would you bring that up? Sebastian looked like a complete dickhead bringing that up. And it was worse because he was just like, should I say it? Vanessa Bryant's not watching anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's like, what? We didn't need that. But Vlad didn't say anything, so the heat was really only on Sebastian until Vlad interviewed Ari Spears. Vlad had Ari Spears on, and he decided to tell Ari Spears how he felt about all the backlash that Sebastian Telfair was getting. Then Aries was like, why is Sebastian Telfair even saying anything? Like, that's snitching.
And everyone got upset. Steven Jackson even did a whole
Why are you snitching?
Is it really snitching?
Yeah, but why you putting? I mean, look, Kobe's gone. Rest in peace.
Yes.
But still, out of respect for his widow, why you putting that out there? You know what I mean?
I mean, was it true though?
We don't know, but that ain't that nigga code.
I mean,
code.
Colorado kind of proved that it was true. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, but you know, did he go to jail? So it ain't true.
He didn't go to jail because I don't think he raped her. But did they have?
I don't think he did either.
Consensual sex? Yes, I'm pretty sure they did.
Well, I ain't see it.
All right.
I don't know what happened.
I know girls that Kobe has tried to holler at.
And
personally.
Now you snitching.
I guess I'm snitching too.
Why are you putting that man's business out there like that?
I'm just saying, man. But he's a man.
I know.
Let's just not put people, on statues and say that they're immortal and they're not actual men and they don't have desires and needs and everything else like that.
But the dick is deceased with him. Let the dick and Kobe both rest in peace.
Yeah.
Then Vlad would say it's not really snitching saying that somebody had mistresses. And Colorado will prove that he had mistresses anyway. Whew. That was foul. Basically what Vlad is saying when he mentions the Colorado case, saying that proves that he had mistresses, he's saying that, yeah, I don't think Kobe did that. I don't think he R-worded anybody. But the fact that he had relations with this woman proves that he cheats on his wife. Therefore, it's okay to bring up the fact that he had mistresses. But in my opinion, and in Ari Spears' opinion, even if that's true, why are you bringing that up to the world? And if nobody knows about it, just let sleeping dogs lie. Like, why are you bringing that up now? Ari Spears basically had to check Vlad on that, and Sebastian Telfair. Then Vlad would go on to say, just because a person is dead doesn't mean that you can't speak on their past. Now, that is a conversation to have. If a person has passed away, is it okay to speak on what they've done in the past? I think it's fine if it's not distasteful, and it's also fine if it's common knowledge. Like, if that was out there, that's cool, but in this particular situation, it's like, who needed to hear that? Because nobody had ever known that. Yes, we knew about Colorado. Yes, we knew Kobe was wrong in the way he handled it because he was cheating on his wife, but nobody needed to hear about anything else. Like, why did you bring that up? That was like locker room talk that should have never came out. And the fact that Telfair even went on to say, well, Vanessa's not going to watch it, that makes it even worse because this is the internet age. This is Vlad TV. So, yeah, there's a good chance somebody might send that to Vanessa, and now they got to live with that. So it was just nasty work. And it made it even worse because Vlad also tried to justify Sebastian Telfair saying that by saying, well, when you're a podcaster and you're a new podcaster, sometimes you got to be a little edgy. So it's okay to air out people's dirty laundry in the sake of being edgy.
Yeah.
So look, everyone wants to get painted as this saint and as this like, person who's above humanity, but everyone has their grudges and everyone's petty and everyone, has needs and desires and so forth. I think what Sebastian said was true. And people can bash him all he wants, but I think it was true.
Yeah, but I don't think that's. I'm just going. Why take that position? If you're Sebastian, why put that out there? For what? The man is deceased. Let him rest in peace. Why are you doing that?
So we can't talk about.
What is the gain from that?
We can't speak anything negative about any deceased person.
I'm just saying, he's got his wife is still present. His daughters are still present.
Yeah.
Why put that out there? What's the gain from doing that?
It's not a game, man. But when you're
gain, I'm not game. No, gain.
The gain is that ultimately, if you're in the podcast world, you have to be a little bit edgy.
You can be edgy without doing that.
Okay.
Out of respect for his wife, his widowed wife, and his daughters, you don't have to do that.
Okay.
That's a bitch move.
I was like, damn, Vlad, you making it real hard to defend you, because here I am trying to prove that you're not a vulture, and then you do something like that. That was nasty work. Nonetheless, the fact that Vlad and Aries even had this back and forth proves that he's really just tone deaf. He really doesn't even see anything wrong with it. Somebody has to present this to him for him to realize what he's saying is stupid. I think he's just really tone deaf. But what do I know? I'm just an everyday nobody. Tell me what you think in the comments. Is Vlad a culture vulture? Or is he just oblivious to what he should and should not say? Tell me what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.